Know thyself before it's too late. Today on Fortitude through Stoicism, and this is my 365-day journey of implementing the ancient philosophy of Stoicism into the life of this modern masculine man. The quote today by Seneca, the entertainer. Death lies heavily upon one who, known exceedingly well by all, dies unknown to himself. So death lies heavily on the person who is very popular, very well known, but doesn't even know his own self. So what we're talking about here is self-awareness. Talking about ignorance. And Ryan Holiday confesses that some of the most powerful and important people in the world seem to have almost no self-awareness. Although complete strangers know endless amounts of trivia about them. Celebrities, because they're too busy or because it hurts too much, really appear to know very little about themselves. Self-awareness, self-awareness, self-awareness. You cannot fix a problem unless you are aware of it. You cannot fix a problem unless you are aware of it. So like I talk about all the time with the mindset line, if you are living in denial and not accepting the fact that you have a problem, not aware of the fact that you have a problem, you can't fix it. You have no growth. You can never flourish. It's impossible. Ryan says that we're all guilty of the same sin. We ignore Socrates' dictum. Know thyself. Often realizing we have done so at our own peril. Years later, when we wake up one day realizing how rarely we have asked ourselves questions like, who am I? So, right now, you have time to explore yourself, to understand your own mind and body. Don't wait. Okay. So there's the lesson. Now here's my take on this. I am completely passionate about this. Okay? For a number of reasons. One, because I've seen it in my entire life play out in a number of ways. Model matching, personality profiling, chemistry matching. You have to know yourself, okay? You have to know yourself. So here's some of the things that I do to have known myself. The DISC personality profiling. This is one that is used in business all the time. The Myers-Briggs with the 16 personalities. My favorite is the color code. Really down and dirty, allows me to understand who is emotional or logic-based thinker, controlling or non-controlling, what their primary motives are. Really quick, I can understand how I need to communicate with that person. But first, I need to know who I am. So, I hate labels, but kind of they matter, right? I mean, you're a lion, right? You're a lion or you're the gazelle. I mean, it is what it is. Spot's a spot, as they say. So some labels. So for me, I know in the color code, I am what they call a pure. 70% of one color or more. I'm a pure red. So I know that the primary motive is power. I'm a logic-based thinker, controlling. Okay, so I know that I speak in bullet points. I know that I don't like stories. I know my processing time is very quick. I know who I model match with. I know how to communicate with certain people so I can connect better, right? And this is why this stuff is important, because I know myself, I'm able to connect with other people better. This has paid dividends in my professional career. I've been successful in virtually every business I touch. Not because I know the widget, the product, or the service. It's because I know people and can connect with people. John C. Maxwell, best-selling author in the leadership space. Before him, they talked about management. After them, they talk about leadership. John Maxwell says that leadership, and this is the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. Leadership is influence. Nothing less, nothing more. You're influencing people. You're moving people in a direction. Okay? So to do this, to do any of this, you need to know who we are. I do this in my romantic life. I use a sexual deviancy test, BDSMtest.org, to know, hey, we got different kinks. Are our kinks in alignment? If I'm somebody that likes to be in control, well, it's not going to mesh well with somebody else in control, right? I do this also so that I can get better in everything, professionally, financially, racially. So here's what to know thyself, right? So full awareness, and then I can make a decision. Is this something that I delegate, or is this something that I improve on and fix? And I look at time and money, because, hey, listen, time and energy, not money, time and energy. Money's a byproduct of both. Time and energy. How much time would it take for me to make myself this lovely, delightful person that can interact with humanity? Probably never. So is it better for me just to delegate and have a buffer between me and other people? Yes, it's a better idea, right? But I can then spend that time working on my integrity, my discipline, my focus, other things that are important, justice, courage. So, in business, this also means, hey, I know what my skill set is, so I know where my weaknesses are, so I can improve these. Relationships, hey, where are my weak spots? I used to be very, very quick to, angry dad. The first response is always no. The second response is always anger, right? I mean, that's how most dads are. So I really went to work on myself with Stoicism and now Buddhism and meditation, where I actively practice every single day on being mindful so that my reactions are softer and with compassion, because I cultivate compassion for myself and others. See, I remember these mantras now when I'm going to respond to somebody. I say, I cultivate compassion. Like, I can't be mean to this person because I cultivate compassion for myself and others, and I don't want the conflict. This works. And the only reason that I'm doing this is because of the very first thing, is because I became aware of it. Somebody's got to shine a mirror on it. Here's your blind spot, man. It's back here. See, it's like I'm looking in a mirror over here, and it's like having a mirror behind me. And so all of a sudden now I can see that nick in the back of my head, and I can see that blind spot. Then the first step is going, yep, I'm aware of it. And then you go, shit, yep. I'm using the reference of a nick on the back of my head, right? Because you can't normally see that. I shave my head, can't see it, right? First, I kind of know it's there, right? Kind of know it's there. I felt something. I'm like, yeah. So the first step is really acknowledging and being aware of it, right? Oh, there it is. And then accepting the fact, acknowledging, yep, awareness, there it is. And then acknowledging it, yep, I see it. Yep, it's a problem. And then accepting that it's your problem and your responsibility. Yep, I nicked the back of my head. It ain't going to stop bleeding unless I do something about it, right? That's what it looks like working on our character, right? Is the first step is that awareness, acknowledgement, and then accepting it. Then I gotta tell you, then it's the accountability of the daily repetitions of working on that thing. And if it's a trigger, it's having daily conversations, journaling about it, talking about it over and over again until it's no longer a trigger. Do you know how hard it was for me to tell my story, my one trigger point in Afghanistan the first time, to get it out of my mouth the first time happened years after it happened and was in the VA, and it was a mess. I mean, it was a complete mess the first time to get it out. The whole thing from start to end. Tears and tissues and vomit and you name it. Now I can tell the story. I'm not going to do it right now, but now I can tell the story because of the repetition, right? So that's the process, and it really all starts with know thyself. We cannot get better. We cannot do almost anything in life without the awareness. I mean, I see people that are completely fucking blind. That's the problem, is they don't know they got a problem. Everyone else can see it. Like, yeah, dude, you're all jacked the fuck up. Everyone around you can see it, but you can't or won't see it. Some people refuse. Happened to be married to one of those at one point. She refuses to believe that she's infallible of anything possible. And there are people on the planet that are like that. Me, on the other hand, I like to find all those, chinks in the armor, as I call them. And I relentlessly go to work on them. It's not because I have too much pride. It's because I have too much respect for myself to stand there with fucking dented armor. No, I'm going to fix this shit, right? I'm not going to ignore that it's dented, using the armor reference. I'm not going to ignore that it's dented. I'm going to have enough pride and respect for myself to go to work on it. Everyone else can see it's broke. So denying it and ignoring it. And listen, some people can't and some people won't. Remember that. Some people are just oblivious. They're in a fog. They're in a cloud. They're doing all they can just to breathe and walk at the same time. I mean, some people, because now I understand. I have compassion for people, because like I'm on the road and I'm like, you think to yourself, why is this asshole doing all this other stuff? But now I'm like, there are people that can barely function in life. I mean, seriously, can barely make decisions. My expectation on humanity is very low now. Therefore, I'm never disappointed. I'm like, oh my God, we made it through another day. Thank God, humanity. Good job. So I know I went long on this one today. This one's fun for me because I love awareness. So again, here are some of my favorite things. I love the DISC, D-I-S-C, DISC analysis. 16 personalities. Wonderlic. Wonderlic is one of my favorite ones. It's the cognitive test they do. And you test against your bracket. So I tested CEOs internationally. NASA pilots do it, NFL. They test your ability to make decisions under pressure, things of that nature. But Wonderlic is a great one. Myers-Briggs has been around for 100 years. But DISC, color code, one of my favorites. 5 love languages, right? Another one of my favorites. The BDSM Test.org is another favorite one. So there are just a few, right? But again, this is why I love coaching. I don't love therapy, because we talk about the problems, we focus on the problems. I love coaching because we focus on the solutions. We talk about the solutions and we take action. There's a difference there, right? So the reason why I've had a lot of success is because I've humbled myself all throughout my life. The very first thing I did professionally is I got a coach. And I've had coaches my whole life. I always have coaches and mentors. Even now I do. I have a mentor right now. I do not have a paid coach at the moment. I let my last one go because I put it all on AI. And I'm actually I'm honestly actually being coached by AI right now. So, full disclosure, it's an experiment. So know thyself before AI takes over. And on that, we're out of here.